Good afternoon. This is Victor Jimenez with Sewerline Tech Professionals. I'm here at 1360 San Luis Rey Drive in Glendale, and I'm in the process of performing a video examination of the main sewer line. Now, the main sewer line is the portion of the waste drainage piping which is exterior to the structure, lies underground, and connects the building drain line system to the public sewer. The building drain line system then is the portion or portions of the waste drainage piping which are underneath or interior to the structure. Today's video examination does not focus on the building drain line system. So if further evaluation is desired regarding the building drain line system, a licensed plumbing contractor should be contacted, or a specialty building drain line video examination can be set up through our office. Alright, so I went ahead and accessed the line from a 4-inch main sewer line cleanout here in the front yard, just a few feet to the right of the front door in the planter area. And we've pushed here 35 feet, and where we're sitting right now is camera is sitting just beyond the curb face, just in the beginning of the street. And we've gotten here 35 feet. Now what we're running into is about 3 or 4 feet ahead of us. The roots have been allowed to grow to the point where the camera actually won't push through any further than that. The line is draining, at least fluids are draining through the roots, but I was running the hose there and you could see the water starting to fill up. So there's definitely an issue here with some blockage that's going on. Now, there's a couple other areas in the line that have similar circumstances, and at this point, without being able to get further than this, we're going to have to be recommending that the line gets hydrojetted and that a follow-up inspection is performed after the line's been cleaned of any roots. Now, the pipe material that we're sitting in right now is a 6-inch diameter section of vitrified clay. Now, the vitrified clay is a very common material for main sewer lines, and it's very common to be used under the street to connect up to the main sewer, or public sewer. The portion of the line that we're in is known as the sewer lateral, and that's the section that runs basically under the street and under the curb face and connects up to each individual property. Now, being a vitrified clay pipe, there's a couple things that are pretty common with the clay pipes. First, they do last a long time, but they have higher possibilities of damage during earthquakes and other seismic activity. Being a more fragile pipe, they have a higher likelihood of being cracked or broken or damaged in that regard. The other issue that is very common with clay pipes is allowing roots into the joint areas. So the way that the pipes are actually sealed, it's not an airtight seal, and because of that, the roots are seeking water, and they'll go ahead and find the pipe and actually break into the pipe in order to get into the roots. Now, roots in a clay pipe in itself doesn't indicate something that we would need to fix or repair. However, if the roots are left to grow to the extent that they're not kept maintained, they actually have the possibility of breaking or damaging the pipe. And if that is the case, then that would be recommending of a repair. Now, just because the roots have gotten to this point doesn't mean that the pipe is broken, and that's why I'll be recommending that the hydrojet gets done. The hydrojet will clear the line of any roots, any debris, and it will leave a clean pipe that we can go ahead and look at. At that point, we'll be able to determine whether the line is broken and needs repair, or whether it's just a maintenance concern and it's something which will need to be maintained over the following years. Now, as I say here, we've pushed here 35 feet. We're just into the street, so we're actually not that far away from public sewer. The public sewer from where we're at is only probably about 4 or 5 feet beyond that point. So we're looking at this pretty heavily root-treated area, and probably a few feet just beyond that, we'll go ahead and find the connection point to public sewer. Alright, so with all that, I'm going to be coming from this point, and I'm going to be going all the way back up to the cleanout that we accessed today, so you can get an idea of what's going on the line and what we're running into. Now, you didn't really see that there first when the water was running, but we actually have a crack in the pipe located at this point, so we already do know that the line will need to be fixed at this point. Now, this crack is located basically just into the street, and it's only about 3.5 feet deep. Typically, the public sewers sit much lower, but on this street, they're actually not sitting that low, so that's fine. But that break is there running along that left side of the pipe. Now, here at 35 feet, we're now going back onto the property line, and we're connecting into a section of pipe known as ABS plastic. The plastic pipes are excellent materials. They have long service life expectancies. They also have very smooth inner surfaces, so things tend to wash out pretty easily. Most importantly, in plastic pipe, they're actually designed to be impervious to roots. The way that the lines are sealed, the way that the joints are sealed, they don't allow roots into the system, so that's good. Now there, we're converting back into a short section of clay, so it looks like the line was repaired or upgraded at some point that section of clay was left in because there wasn't any reason to replace it. Clay pipe is a totally acceptable material. It's just when it gets broken or damaged, you need to replace it. And I said upgraded because the house is built around the 1920s. Plastics were not around at that time, so this is not the original pipe that was installed. The clay might be. I can't be totally certain of that, but the plastic certainly is an upgrade. Now we're running along essentially the front yard here. And in a few more feet here, we'll be pulling out of the cleanout. Now, right as we get into the line, we experience basically the first issue. And you can see here the beginning of roots coming into the line. Now, as I mentioned, you shouldn't be seeing roots in a plastic pipe. It's very possible, though, that a section of a different piping before the line's exiting the building is what's allowing these roots to actually penetrate the system. And you can see the roots are covering the entire bottom portion of the line. So this is not a good circumstance. This line definitely will need to be cleared of those roots. You can see the roots have gotten pretty extensive there. And we're about to be pulling out of the cleanout, and you can see all those roots coming in. So they're definitely coming in before. That's where we're actually getting in the line, and you can see all of those roots just sitting there. So the line, when it is hydrojetted, will need to be hydrojetted from a location in the back of the house or something which will actually pick up the beginning part of that cleanout. I'll go ahead and just wipe off my camera lens so we can get a visual of the cleanout. So you know where I started from and where the line is running. So here, you got this cap here right in the front, and just getting a photograph of that for the report. I'll flip the camera around and show you a little bit. So the front door is right over here, the right side of the the left side of the house, and the right side of the house in the front yard. So you can see the back of that black SUV there. Right, basically in the middle of that SUV is where the line's actually going into the street. Public sewer is just on the other side of that SUV, so only about 6 or 7 feet of actual street the line's going to be running under. So again, at this point I'll be recommending that the line gets hydrojetted and that a follow-up examination is performed. So with that, I'm going to be wrapping up the video portion of the examination for today. Once again, this is Victor Jimenez with Sewer Line Check Professionals. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day.